Good morning, Digit fam. Adam Dowd here, back on a slightly shortened week of all the tech goodies that you can handle. And before we go any further, yes, Tristan, drop slides are the bomb, and also terrifying, and also the bomb. And it occurs to me that some of you listeners may be missing out on some of these conversations between me and Tristan over on the newsletter because you're only hearing one side. Well, fortunately, that is easily fixed by heading over to digit.com, that's DGIT.com, and typing in your email address, and we thank you for subscribing. But for now, it is July 2nd, 2019, and this is your Digit Daily. Yesterday, we got a report out of the Wall Street Journal saying that Johnny Ive left Apple in part because he was dispirited by a lack of design focus coming from Tim Cook and company. Apple seemed to be more interested in product rather than beauty. We reported on this story in the newsletter, but it didn't make the roundup, and now I'm a little embarrassed, but also subscribe to the newsletter and you won't miss it. Anyway, to sum up, Aluminium Ive was critical to most of the design decisions that came out of Apple, though whether or not he was responsible for the Apple Pencil sticking out of the bottom of the iPad Pro for 2 years is unknown. After the death of Steve Jobs, Ive lacked the partner to drive forward innovation, and let me tell you something, people, there is nothing more sad than seeing one person riding a tandem bike. Heartbreaking. Anyway, Ive was reportedly further disheartened by Tim Cook's "I don't give a crap how it looks, how much can we sell it for" attitude when it came to design. Overall, the structure of the company seemed to be shifting more and more towards finance and business rather than innovation. Innovation like sticking the Apple Pencil out of the bottom of the iPad Pro for 2 years. You know, cool stuff like that. Well, Tim Cook ain't gonna take that from nobody. He wrote a response to NBC's Dylan Byers, and I'm just gonna read this whole email to you, but we've already established that I can't do a very good Tim Cook accent, so here's Sean Connery instead.
Hi, Dylan. Hope you're well. The story is absurd. A lot of reporting, and certainly the conclusions just don't match with reality. At a base level, it shows a lack of understanding about how the design team works and how Apple works. It distorts relationships, decisions, and events to the point that we just don't recognize the company it claims to describe. The design team is phenomenally talented. As Johnny said, they're stronger than ever, and I have complete confidence that they will thrive under Jeff, Evans, and Alan's leadership. We know the truth, and we know the incredible things they're capable of doing. The projects they're working on will blow you away. Best, Tim. Sent from my iPhone.
So, yeah. Sorry, Sean. Anyway, that's a not very nice email coming from your favorite James Bond. But while the wording is harsh, you can't help but notice Tim doesn't really stick up for Johnny Ive. And it's more liar, liar, pants on fire defense, which is just irksome on so many levels. Because if this story is bullsh, then how did it survive the editorial process? If it's not, then that means that the CEO of the third most valuable company in the world is spewing bullsh. And then we have stories like the Chinese spying on servers story from Bloomberg that came out a few months ago that turned out to be mostly bullsh, so I honestly don't know who to trust anymore. I want to stand on the side of journalists, but this is a pretty vehement denial from someone who isn't running for office. Guess we'll all be left to our own devices to figure out what's what, but for now, I'll tell you what's what. It's the roundup! Once again, Sean, I'm so sorry. We have an official date for the Samsung Galaxy Note 10, and it's August 7th, 2019. Anyone want to guess what our top story for August 8th will be? The invitation is punctuated, literally, by the S Pen and a single camera lens in the shape of an exclamation mark. I think someday the S Pen will carry the selfie camera on the Note. I just don't think that this year is the year, but it would be cool as hell. And speaking of Samsung, as hashtag FoldWatch 2019 reaches its 70th day, DJ Ko admits at a tech conference that he may have pushed the Fold out too early. Only took 70 days to admit it, DJ. We still don't have any word on when or if the Fold will come out, though we have had several rumors suggest that it would be soon. Of course, those rumors were back in May and June, so soon may be a relative term here. Just release it when it's ready, Samsung, and keep a lid on it until then. Project Loon is Google's spin-off company that wants to put cell tower equipment in the air, minus the tower. Instead, they're using balloons the size of tennis courts to loft the gear into the sky. Tennis courts, people! Anyway, Loon provided units to Puerto Rico to help replace infrastructure damaged in natural disasters, but now will begin a crucial test in Kenya, selling customers 4G data at market rate with Loons. Other carriers have expressed interest in Loon if it can be made commercially viable, so they'll be watching Kenya very closely for the near future. So here's a sobering look at smartphone use in the world today. Now, if you're listening to the Digit Daily, and we all know you are, thank you, you probably dig technology and possibly to an unhealthy degree. And that's fine, we won't judge. But according to a survey by the website Declutter, roughly half the respondents didn't know what phone they had. Now, to be fair, the survey showed people promotional images of their phones alongside other phones by the same manufacturer, so it's not surprising that the lowest result came from the iPhone XR, because that phone looks basically exactly like the iPhone XS. But about 1/3 of the respondents also thought that their phone had the 5Gs, and spoiler alert, it didn't. And 62% of those people thought that they saw an increase in speed when they connected to 5G, and no they didn't, and no they didn't. I'm jealous of South America today because they get to see a full solar eclipse. Folks, let me tell you, if you ever have the opportunity to see a full solar eclipse, even if you have to drive hundreds of miles and stay in a hotel, go. Trust me, it's worth it. I'm counting the days until April 8th, 2024, and hoping that I can record a Digit Daily from the field that day. Interviews with spectators, the works. Maybe we'll make a Digit Daily event out of it, and I might be taking this too far. Android Authority has a list of everything new coming to Netflix, including Stranger Things with its 3rd season, which means cancellation is imminent. Now, granted, I have no rumors to back that up, but Netflix shows don't age well, or mostly at all, past the age of 3. Also interesting is Designated Survivor 60 Days, because not only did Netflix rescue Designated Survivor from cancellation, but now it's making a remake, so weird. Anyway, aside from that, my favorite movie on the list is Swordfish, which is just a fun movie. And incidentally, for you Amazon Prime members out there, Gattaca is now on Prime, and I'm gonna watch that at least twice because I've never saved anything for the swim back. And finally, and I'm not sure how this hasn't made it into the podcast yet, but Simone Giertz, who you may know in your head as Simone Giertz, but it's actually pronounced Yetch, who is the queen of shitty robots, recently modified a Tesla into a pickup truck ahead of Elon Musk's Tesla truck later this year. She calls it Truckla. There's an awesome 30-minute video online that shows the making of the truck with some of Simone's closest friends. Anyway, the truck is awesome and has completed its press tour and now is in service as Simone's personal, unofficial Tesla truck, and that is delightful. So that is going to do it for today's Digit Daily. If you'd like to learn more about any of these stories, check out the links in the show notes and subscribe to our daily newsletter at digit.com. And if you like what you heard, subscribe, leave a review, and don't forget to tell your friends about digitdailypod.com. Once again, I'm Adam Dowd, Dead Technology on Twitter, and we'll talk again tomorrow.